Welcome to Nicholas Adoko blog series. Do prenuptial agreements affect marriages? Marriage nowadays is not only a love bond but also a business partnership. Because of the dual nature and purpose of marriage, more people are realizing that a prenuptial agreement, also known as a premarital agreement or prenup, might help safeguard each spouse's financial interests. You may have considered a prenuptial agreement. However, you, like many others, may have given up on the concept due to what you've read or seen in the news. Prenuptial agreements, for example, are said to exist to safeguard the richer spouse from losing their money and assets in the event of a divorce. While prenuptial agreements can assist you and your spouse clarify financial matters from the start of your marriage, they can also help you and your spouse build trust and open lines of communication. First, let's understand what is a prenuptial agreement. A prenuptial agreement, often known as a prenup, is a written contract that you and your spouse sign before legally marrying. It explains how your finances and possessions are handled during your marriage and, of course, in the event of divorce. It also gives you both the opportunity to thoroughly comprehend what legal rights you each obtain and relinquish after you marry. A prenuptial agreement is a once-in-a-lifetime chance for you and your spouse to actively collaborate on the laws that will govern your marriage. Otherwise, your state's marital laws will control the split of your assets and obligations, as well as how spousal support is handled in the event of divorce. Let's now look at the benefits to a prenuptial agreement. You might be wondering if a prenuptial agreement is good for you, or if you should sign your fiancé's proposed prenuptial agreement. You could be worried about how it will damage your marriage. Before entering into a premarital agreement, it's a good idea to weigh the benefits and drawbacks. As a result, here are a few of them. 1. Communication. One of the finest ways to start a conversation in your relationship is to consider a prenuptial agreement. Although discussing a prenuptial agreement can be intimidating or even frightening, being upfront and honest about property, economics, and each of your expectations before to the wedding could be one of the most useful components of the process. Even if you and your spouse only discuss the contract and never draft it, you'll be setting the tone for your marriage with an open line of communication and a level of trust that will last for many years. 2. Save time and money. Divorce is a costly and time-consuming process. Even if you and your spouse agree on every legal issue that arises during a regular divorce, you may end up paying so much in court costs and attorney fees before a judge formally dissolves your marriage. Many couples start the divorce process on the same page, but as time goes on, spouses tend to differ on major matters, which increases costs and lengthens the process. A well-drafted prenuptial agreement helps the couple to address the most typical legal issues that arise during divorce, allowing the process to be completed quickly and without the need for a lengthy court battle. 3. Protect your separate property and family heirlooms. When it comes to dividing assets and debts, one of the most controversial aspects of divorce is the division of assets and debts. We generally conceive of the marital slogan as what's mine is yours, and what's yours is mine, yet when it comes to divorce, most couples differ on who should get what property. The first step for a divorce court is to identify and categorize the couple's assets as separate or marital, and then split them. If you have family heirlooms or other property that you want to preserve separate from your spouse, a prenuptial agreement can be extremely beneficial. Couples can indicate what property each spouse owns, and how they want their assets distributed if they separate later. 4. Define what qualifies as marital property. If you divorce, the court will divide marital property between you and your spouse according to the laws of your state. Courts in community property jurisdictions presume that any asset acquired during the marriage belongs equally to both spouses, and the value will be divided equally between them by the judge. Judges in equitable distribution jurisdictions determine who owns the marital property and divide it evenly amongst the couples. By outlining what qualifies as marital property and how you'd like to divide it in the divorce, a prenuptial agreement can help couples avoid a painful and lengthy property dispute. One of the most appealing features of a prenuptial agreement is that you and your spouse can decide how you want to handle it, and the court will honor your decisions. 5. Protect yourself from debt. The court will split marital debt and other liabilities in the divorce, in addition to accumulating assets. A prenuptial agreement will allow you to specify the obligations, as your spouse's separate debt, and detail how you will handle it in the event of a divorce, if your spouse comes into the marriage with a significant amount of credit card or other loan debt. Let's look at the drawbacks to a prenuptial agreement. While there appear to be many benefits to creating a prenup, it's critical to recognize that there are potential negatives that could have a significant impact on your marriage before you agree to sign the contract. 1. It's a romance killer. Let's face it, a prenuptial agreement isn't exactly romantic. Proposals and visions of a fairy tale ending frequently conjure up ideas of romantic dinners, hand-holding, and moonlit walks. Bringing up the possibility of a future divorce is a surefire way to ruin the mood. Although marriage is a relationship that extends beyond romance to encompass significant issues such as property and finances, for some couples, discussing these topics may cast a pall over this joyous occasion. Make sure to think about the best time and place to talk about a prenuptial agreement, and don't wait until the wedding invitations have been sent out to bring it up. 2. It can be unbalanced. When you're new to a relationship, it's easy to get tunnel vision. I'll never get divorced, so what does it matter? Many people assume when they sign a prenuptial agreement. It matters because if you sign a prenuptial agreement that benefits your spouse, you may end up with less than you deserve after your divorce. The key to ensuring that your prenuptial agreement benefits both of you equally is to have independent attorneys draft and evaluate the document before you sign it. 3. It does not always work. Prenuptial agreements often provide a spouse only a fraction of what they would be entitled to under state law. Although the outcome tends to support the notion that the prenuptial agreement made years ago was unfair to that spouse, courts routinely enforce prenuptial agreements that result in an unfair outcome. But we'll take a second look if enforcing the prenuptial agreement would result in such a wealth disparity that the disadvantaged spouse would end up near destitute or on public assistance. In addition, during the honeymoon stage of a relationship, one partner may agree to terms that are not in his or her best interest because he or she is too in love to worry about the financial implications, and can't see the union ending prematurely. Conclusion. It's time to talk to your partner about prenuptial agreements, now that you know what they are and aren't. Prenuptial agreements are clearly useful and important to a marriage. While they have some disadvantages, with adequate communication and expert assistance, an amicable solution that benefits all parties involved can be established. Kindly like and subscribe to this YouTube channel for more content. After subscribing, click on the bell icon to get notified when we post a new video. Thanks for watching, I hope it was helpful. Let me tell you a little bit about Nicholas Adoko Technologies. We help businesses and companies build an online presence by developing web, mobile, desktop, and blockchain applications. As a company, we work with your budget in developing your ideas and projects beautifully and elegantly, as well as participate in the growth of your business. We do a lot of freelance work in various sectors such as blockchain, booking, e-commerce, education, online games, voting, and payments. Our ability to provide the needed resources to help clients develop their software packages for their targeted audience on schedule is unmatched. Be sure to contact us if you need our services. We are readily available. Contact us via our website